guys, how's it going? You guys want to give me a sound check, please? That would be amazing. Just to make sure that we're coming through. Let's go like that. So how's it going, guys? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day on this amazing morning. Well, afternoon where I am now, and wherever you guys are in the world. So I'll just wait until somebody can tell me whether we have audio or not. Good afternoon, Lil. And Lil, do we have audio? I'm hoping we have audio. Grumpy, how's it doing, Rory? Yes, you do have audio. Perfect, perfect. That's wonderful. Okay, guys. So today it's a really easy day. Not necessarily for me because I'm going to be doing a lot of work, but what I'm going to be showing you guys what I'm doing is we're going to be doing decanting our labs. And then we're going to be doing a first dilution. Now I do 2 dilutions on my labs. I do a 1 to 20 from the original labs, and then I take that from 1 to 20 parts water to labs to 1 to 100, and we're going to show going over that as well. So we're not going to hesitate. We're going to jump right in. I'm going to bring the other image back up. We're going to go like that. There, we're going to bring this over here. Okay, this is our pail that we put our mixture in, and our burper still has water in it. I don't know if you guys can see that. We'll pull it out here. And you guys can still see that we have the water in there. Biology get in there that we didn't want in there because we wanted the pure lactic acid. And remember, the milk is the food source that we have given the biology that is in here. So I haven't opened this yet, guys, so bear with me. You guys know anything about these pails? They're not exactly the easiest to get open, and I'm trying not to shake everything up too much. Okay, there we go. And you guys can see our curds. And you can see it floating in the whey liquid, or the lactic bacillus liquid. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut this into portions. If we can here, there's, okay, the one, go the other way. Just trying to make it a little bit easier for us to get it out, guys. And remember, you don't have to use a pail. If you have a glass container that's really wide open in the front, like our pail is here, that you can get into easily, then you can do it in a glass container. I use the pail because I simply don't have that glass container. So now we're going to take these out. I've just got a pan here. We're going to be putting it in. Remember, guys, you can actually make a farmer's cheese out of these curds. So if you're into making cheese, you can do that. You can add this stuff to your worm bin. This is like full of biology. And your worms would absolutely love it. Convert it into good things for you and your plants. Okay. That's the first step. Now we're just going to strain. So I've got a fairly large container here. Okay. It, let's see, what's that say? 160 ounce or 500 or 5,000 milliliters. Of course, I'm out of the camera shot. There we go. So I've got a large container that I can strain this off into. And for anybody that's joining late, for the full story on the labs. I'll be putting together from the 3 shows we've talked about labs into one sequence, so you guys can have the whole labs process down in one video instead of having to go to multiple videos. So this is season 1, episode 5, guys. So we're slowly moving forward here. Okay, and we're just simply going to drain this through the screen. There we go. And you can see what we're left with in the bottom of the pail. And that came from the bottom of the pail. So you feed this to your worms as well. Depending on where you are in the world, you know, it's going to be spring in Australia, where it's winter here in Canada. But you can put this out in your plants, etc., in a variety of different applications. You can, excuse me, bury it into your garden, put it in your compost. You can feed everything to your chickens as well, for the curds, etc. But here we had the 4 liters of milk and the not quite 1 cup of water that we mixed it in. Now let's take a quick peek at the color. You can't really see the color that well, but it's a nicest way to put it is a pea yellow. Okay, but there's our serum. Now remember, this is a concentrate, guys, and as Leighton Morrison loves to refer, don't be a moron. Less is more. That's one of the reasons that we want to dilute this. So that's our next step, is just diluting it. And the ratios, let me just grab my sheet here, and we'll see if we can get that in a good shot. And of course, everything's backwards, so that's got to go that way. But there's the dilution ratios, the 1:20 and the 1:100. But as I was going to say, we're going to do this right away, as long as I have everything here, and I should, because I wanted to make sure that I did. So we're just going to use a jar, and we're going to measure out 500 milliliters. And of course, I have the wrong cup here, but if I can move my camera a little bit. Sorry, guys. Grab cup measuring. Okay, so all I've done here is grab my measuring cups, and it's 235 mils is 1 cup, and 180. So we'll just open this. I'll have cups, measuring cups like this, and then of course I have the small scoops. So this is 1 cup is 235 500 mils of water to what is it? 5 teaspoons of labs. Okay, so just grab the other measuring sticks. Tablespoon, teaspoon. Okay, so we'll get our teaspoon measure. Okay, so 1 teaspoon. Is that going to focus? And of course, I'm out of the camera. Everything's backwards. 1 teaspoon. And we need 5 teaspoons. So very, very little. Okay. That's why I've made enough here that I'm going to be able to use this literally for years, but I'm going to be sharing it. I have been for a long time with friends and that are growing, not necessarily cannabis. I'm more into growing all plants, not just cannabis. So that's it. There's your 5 teaspoons. Okay, so not very much, and that's going to go into 500 milliliters of water. Now, I'm not going to bother to show that. I'll just grab the water in a bit here. But that's how easy it is to make your labs, your rice water and then your milk. And it's just a matter of time. And in that time, you're really going to be thankful for. Now, you can drink this yourself. That's the one thing with Korean natural farming. The implements that are made in that methodology, you can wash with, you can drink, you can get it all over yourself. It's not going to harm you. Where the other methodologies of a lot of these things, you can't do that. So let's switch back to a different camera angle. Okay. So you can use the labs in a variety of ways, but that's just that little bit into the water, and then you're going to take this, okay, when it's mixed with the 500 mils of water, that's what you're going to use to go up to the 1 to 100 dilution. Um, and that's what you're going to be applying to your plants. Okay, so it's let's see, it's 1 cup of water, add 0.48, half a teaspoon. Okay, for a cup of water. For a gallon of water, it's going to be 7.68 teaspoons. For 5 gallons of water, you're going to add 38.4 teaspoons to get your dilution rate for 1 to 100. So if you are just growing your 4 plants, if you're in Canada, then it's very easy to just do 1 cup. Now, I'm not going to be adding sugar to this. So my storage method is going to be in the fridge. Okay. I'm going to put this concentrate into glass jars and put it in the fridge and store it in my fridge. That's going to slow the biology down, basically putting it into almost a stasis where it's not going to be doing very much um, at all in its life cycle until you bring it out and you dilute it to your 1 to 100, and then you can use that. It's got to be used within 4 to 6 weeks, okay, or it's going to go bad. But you can use this stuff for cleaning. You can use this in your bokashi bucket. You can put it in your worms if you're keeping your worm bin moist. You can add in this biology into your worm bin to help keep your moisture content up. The worms are going to eat this up and love it. They're going to put it through their gizzard, through their belly, out the other end, and your worm castings are going to have this biology built right into it. So I'm just going to check the chat, guys. Hey, Mad Dog. If you guys have any questions on the labs, please throw them in. Okay. Where did you get your pail for fermenting? I actually, Princess Auto, just make sure that on the bottom of the pail or any plastic container, you get the one that's a food grade, that it doesn't leach. And there's a specific symbol that you want to look for the materials that do that or have that capability. But yeah, I just went to a Princess Auto. You guys in the States, that would be Harbor Freight. I made sure I got the pails that have the rubber gasket in the lid so that I know that when I seal it, it's sealed, right? Um, but yeah, that's where I get my pails, Pembina River. And let's see. And hello, by the way. Let's see. It's Ken's. Oh yeah, Ken's been raiding your kitchen again, Lil. Yes, and I will actually be bringing in, the strainer, etc. Mad Dog. Uh, I need to get amongst this. Okay. Just started winter here, Matt. Yeah, I know you guys are in Great Britain. You guys are lucky. You have that sea current that keeps you a lot warmer than where you're geographically located, because you're like in the same level of latitude that I am. But that warm water coming up on the current keeps you guys a lot nicer where you guys. So you guys are really lucky. Uh, Would you dilute it, Ken, or full strength? Yes, I dilute it, and I actually dilute it twice. Sorry. So the raw, I'm going to put in, and I'm going to mark that it's pure. And then when I mix from the pure, I will mix into the small glass jar like this to get it to the 1 to 20, and I'll mark that on the jar that's a 1 to 20. And then when I go to use that, I mix it to the 1 to 100. Auto flower, how's it going? I have 3 worms for 2. Okay, let's see. Only have the worms for 2 to 3 weeks, so just 3 bins for now. Mine seem happy. I've actually got to restart my worm bin, guys. I checked it today. I've been haven't been a fastidious worm keeper. Okay, so I've got to find myself another pound of worms so I can reinvigorate my worm bin. But um, I have probably, I don't know, 8, 10 pounds worth of worm castings already. So I wasn't too, really worrying about it. Pembama, high in arsenic. Um, yeah, well, you're eating up and you're breaking all those molecules up. One of the things, guys, that you need to understand, biology is going to break those compounds down. So you have the molecular structure of arsenic. Now, if you have the right biology that's in there and it's going to break that down, it's going to pull the different components out of that molecule to be used in other places. So as long as you have this massive amount of biology, they're going to try to use those components in other ways and not keeping um, the bad parts together, just like glyphosate. When we break down glyphosate, it's not glyphosate anymore. It doesn't register anymore in the test because the biology has taken that molecular structure, pulled it apart, and made it into different compounds. So that's one of the beautiful things about biology, is you can have these base bad things in your soil to start with, but when you have the biology in there, it's trying to break all that out. It's just like one of the reasons we add sand is it has so many base mineral components in a grain of sand that the biology can set up a world on and mine. Uh, we as humans really think we are the number one thing out there, but consider what is making this body. It isn't me making it. It isn't my soul going, oh yeah, we need another heart cell, etc. It's the biology that builds this house that my energy lives in, or is attached to. It's that biology that is making all those components. It's making all these cells. It's using the minerals, etc., that we ingest into our body, breaking it out and making our bodies healthy and strong. Hopefully, healthy and strong. So let's see. Okay, the sweet to temperate ocean climate keeps uh, the hard freeze away, but we get buckets of rain over the side. Yes, that's actually, I know a lot of people that have moved from Alberta, which is generally one of a very sunny province, have moved to the coast of Vancouver, and unless they can make that adjustment to having rain all the time, they pretty much always end up moving back to Alberta because they would rather have the sun. We can dress for the cold, just add another layer on it, but that heat, you can only take so much off, guys, before they throw you in jail. Okay, so I love you guys in the warm climates around the world, but my body uh, is set up for living in a colder environment. Now, I know I have lived in BC in the Okanagan Valley, and after a year, my blood started to thin, and I was adjusting to those, dealing with those temperatures. But I I kind of like Alberta. Eventually, I'll end up somewhere that's a little bit nicer because the cold does affect my back. But anyway, guys, so let's go on to the next step. That I haven't seen any questions on the labs, so we'll go on to the next part of the conversation, and that's adding biology to our soil mix. So the labs is biology that you will be adding when you're using it. The water soluble calcium, if you make that, the water soluble calcium phosphate, etc. There's a lot of different things that you can create yourself that are going to add biology, but you're adding the components like the calcium, water soluble calcium, you're adding the calcium in, but you're also, remember, you're adding in the biology that broke that calcium out of the eggshells, and it's the biology that can turn it around and use it in a cell. So that's one of the wonderful things about the natural farming methodology of breaking these things down. You're not only adding in the components that you're trying to get out of that breakdown, like the calcium phosphate, but you're adding the biology that works with that specific molecule, and it can take that molecule and put it into other cell structures. So most people, you go out, you buy, a microbial solution in a bottle. You're getting, X, Y, and Z, better than others, etc. We're, preaching about making compost, which is a great way to get a lot of biology, organic material, which is their food source, into a soil mix. But thanks to um, Alex and Luna from the Sun and the Moon, uh, we have Tim Hannaran that came on and was talking about the different seeds. Now, I have mentioned this before, guys, where the university did the study and the field was flooded and some of the crops survived. And it was because they had the different biology or multiple strains of biology in that soil that that particular crop was on, and it was able to survive the flooding where others couldn't. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be actually reinvigorating my soil, not so much with the compost, etc., but I'm going to be putting seeds in. Okay, so not the cannabis seeds, all kinds of other seeds. I've got mung bean and corn, etc. I used to grow microgreens, so radish, etc. But I picked up some onions, some carrot seeds, and different varieties of carrot seeds. But one of the things when I was looking at the show this morning, and let's see, it's right there, and I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the list. It should be entire screen. That one, that one. It should. There we go. Okay, so right here. Now it's the Rhizophagus irregularis, and I know they've changed the name, etc. But this is the rhizosphere, not the or the. Oh, geez, I can't. The term's not flashing into my head. But the connection that our plants need. My mycelium. Do. Yeah, I was having this problem earlier, guys. But there's the rise. Man, there's days, guys. I'm telling you, there's days. Um, but we mycorrhizae, mycorrhizae fungi. We add in when we do our clones and we do our transplants. We can, and my okay, I think my audio might have just cut out and cut back in. I'm not sure why. My phone just, because I'm using my phone for the base audio. But you can see here in the center here. Okay, these are some of the different plants, and I did the research on cannabis, and this was what the Rhizophagia irregulus, and I'm probably pronouncing that, butchering it really bad. Um, that is supposed to be the closest thing for the cannabis plant on that end, and it's got onions, soapbush, flax, um, uh, cowpeas, tomato plants, um, oh, uh, albabia, whatever that is. But there's so many different plants and vegetables, etc., that we can look at to add um, those components that we're looking for into our soil system. Now, um, of course, have the onions. I know there's some strains of carrots that that mycorrhizae that our cannabis plant would need is in the carrot. Remember that it takes 90 days for the mycorrhizae to really take hold in a soil system. So if you're growing cannabis and you're not reusing your soil, you put your mycorrhizae in at the front end, you're not going to get the full benefit. You're going to get partial benefits as time progresses, as you go through your veg and your flower, but you're not going to get the full benefit until after that plant would have been harvested. So if we add plants in and we keep our soils alive with plants in it, remember, more roots in the soil is one of the keys. We can keep that mycorrhizae that we want for our cannabis plant in our soil mix and have it viable, alive. So when we put a new clone into that soil, she's not going, oh, I have to start from the beginning with this mycorrhizae. It's like, bang, it's good. Okay, it's there. Her biology goes, oh, everything's gold in here. This is perfect for me. I can get that full genetic potential, or I have that potential to get there much faster than if you've got a sterile soil mix and you don't have the mycorrhizae there. Then it's going to be, you're going to be trying to get it in, and it's 90 days. So what I'm going to be doing, and I'm not going to bore you guys with dumping a bunch of seeds into a bunch of different soils. I've got a bunch of pots. I'm going to be getting a bunch more of the 5-gallon cloth pots that I have set up. And I'm going to be planting a variety of seeds into all of them. I'm going to be numbering the bags, and I'm going to track the seeds that I'm putting into each bag, and we're going to be leaving out certain seeds that I have that I'm not going to be putting into certain pots, so that we can have a little bit different in each one and know what it was that we didn't put in, and see if there's actually any changes that we can notice in our cannabis plant, in the flavor, taste at the end. Um, this is the R&D grow, right? We're going to be trying to research as much as we possibly can. I'll be listing that. Uh, I'll probably end up the website putting a section of what's in each of the pots. So I'll have, like, number one, I put in mung bean, carrot, onions, etc. And of course, my beautiful and loving wife, Silly Lily, she said, Ken, you should be growing some onions. We really need to grow some onions. So we're going to be growing some stuff where that's all I'm going to be putting in the pot. And these are cloth pots, guys, so that We have some of this stuff that's growing that we normally would eat. I'm going to be having it in the veg, but it's all about trying to make sure that we have that um, biology in our soil, and the more different strains of biology, the better, right? So if you guys were watching the OG's Power Hour yesterday, you know I was talking to John about par, etc. And I found out my par, I had to actually move where I had my clones. My par wasn't high enough. So I've lifted them up so that they're at a greater height. What I'll do before the end is I'll just grab the cell phone with the camera and I'll go into the grow. I'll show you what's going, or into the veg. I'll show you what's going on in there. But I'm going to be setting up a lot of different pots, trying to run a lot of different experiments and keep track of everything for you guys so you can see the differences that I'm seeing in the biology. Now, we are getting some soil coming in from Black Swallow Soils, Living Soils, out of Ontario, Canada, and those should be actually in tomorrow. And we're going to be doing some experimentation with that soil as well. So that's where we're going to be starting. Then we're going to be starting looking at adding different amounts of sand in. We're going to put the sand in the soil mixes. I'm not sure if Black Swallow has sand or how much sand they already have. Because remember, that's the mountain that the coal was coming from. That's the mountain where the calcium and boron and zinc and all of these different components are in those particles of sand, and we want the biology to set up their manufacturing facility on those grains of sand and start pulling those components out to make them not only available for the biology to build more biology, but the biology to share that with the biology that's building our plant and the cells that are in the plant. So I think that's pretty much it on that side, guys. I'm going to grab the uh, camera here, just pop it out, right, and then we're going to switch over to that camera. And Okay, there we go. So you guys should have audio again. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me now. I've just switched on the other audio. I'm just getting my phone. I don't know if you can see it. It's literally just spinning in circles. So I'm going to get off the phone altogether. I don't know why it's doing that. Hopefully, you guys have audio on the other microphone. And let's clear that. Let's try it one more time, guys. Okay, audio is back. Okay, because I've got it on the other audio, but we're going to try it so I can show you guys the clones, because they have grown, or I'll go grab them and bring them back so you guys can get a chance to see them. But up here, I don't have a long enough cord to go over there. We're going to try to get back into StreamYard here, and once I do, I'll have to shut this audio off because it'll interfere. Let's see. And, okay. Let's see if it comes up here. I was wondering why when I put sand in soil mix, I had a wonderful result. And then there you go. As long as you've got the biology, your results can be absolutely amazing. Okay, so yeah, my phone's just not wanting to connect properly, guys. So, well, I can take this out of my ear then. What I'll do, guys, is I'm just going to walk into the veg here. I'm going to grab a couple of the seed starts that we've got going on and bring them back in. I'll be right back. Okay. There we go. Now, this is the SFV, and they're doing quite well. And then we've got three different types of Medi, guys. We've got John's Medi Kush, and then we've got a couple of crosses that he did with the Medi. Okay, you can see that one. And I believe there's two that are going to grow tall. If you've watched the OG Power Hour, you see John's grow that he's got upstairs in the tent. You see one that's shorter than the two taller ones. The shorter one's going to be the straight Medi Kush. So this, I'm sure, is going to end up being the Medi Kush. She's the shortest one of the batch. Then we've got the Joe Brand 91 crossed with the Medi, and the Death Bubba crossed with the Medi. And those are the two taller plants. But our SV OG Kush is looking kind of around the same leaf structure. They're about the same height, etc. But we're going to be seeing as things move forward, how they're doing. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep them in these smaller containers. They can stay in here quite a significant amount of time. I'm using a straight soil from Fox Farms, their Ocean Forest. It should have enough nutrients, etc., in it to have it for, be able to keep them in here until they're almost root bound, I would say. Hey, Ghetto. And diod. So that comes from, let's see. No, haven't heard. Yeah, Diod. Check out our other podcasts on this channel. It's not just the R&B Girl. There's the Sun and the Moon on Thursdays. Although Luna's been extremely sick, I hope she's going to be feeling better for tomorrow's show. Myself and Andy, and of course Leighton Morrison, Dr. Absing on Mondays on the Soil Matters. Leighton's got some wonderful information that he shares about soil structure. This is a man that creates soils. He's working on some major projects in North America that for reclamation of soils, saving sports fields, etc. But anyway, guys, do you guys have any questions? Horizontal growing is nice. Okay, then we'll go. Okay, greetings. Yeah, hey, Ghetto. See him. Okay. No, Ghetto. Actually, the Medis are all feminized, but the SFV is not feminized. So I don't know. I've planted. I had I think 5 or 10 seeds from there. I grabbed 2, and these seeds are old. They're old when I bought them from someone, so I'm not sure exactly how old they are. But the both seeds I planted both came up, and we're gonna see if we end up with a male and a female or 2 females, etc. One of the things in the future we're going to be looking at is taking one of our plants and making her make pollen, and then adding that into our room. Not so much for the seeds to sell, but I know someone that really needs the microgreens. They need high THC seed to make their microgreens. It's someone that has seizures, that's let's just put it this way. She's 30 now. They started when she was 15, adding cannabis into her regiment to keep the seizures back. And she wasn't expected to reach, 18, etc. And now she's in her 30s because of John's Medi Kush, because that's the one that they found that worked specifically for her. So that's a wonderful thing. Pops, hey buddy. Let's see. Other than that, guys, there doesn't seem to be any questions other than the fem seed, etc. We're gonna cut it here. We've got the show with Andy tonight, and I said Luna for our Sun and the Moon has been really, really sick. So I'm not sure if we're gonna have the Sun and the Moon tomorrow night. We'll see how she's feeling and how Alex is doing, to know what's going on for then. But these R&Ds, I'm going to keep growing as I do things, in progression of growing out these seedlings, and in other ways that I'm going to be activating the biology into the soil. I'm going to be bringing you guys along. So just, follow me on IG as well, because I always put out on IG when the shows are going to be. I try an hour, or in the morning if it's an evening show, to get it out there, so you guys can follow along. Anyway, guys, I would say that's it. If you are enjoying this content, we do have a bunch of links in the description for discount codes. Some I actually get, the channel gets a percentage. Some we don't. Doesn't matter. It's more the discount codes for you guys for products that I would buy myself and would recommend to you guys. And of course, there is a Patreon link if you want to help support the grow. You'll help pay for the power, etc. Because the lights aren't cheap, and you can see my big power box in behind me. So anyway, guys, have a wonderful day. And if all else fails,
Be there tonight, 6 o'clock Pacific, for myself and Andy. We're talking about trees and how best to keep them healthy naturally. And of course, it's all about the biology, guys. Keep your biology strong, and we'll see you guys later on. Take care, guys.